specifically state that Florida is one of those states where both the men and women's pay are roughly equal. Not quite as high for women, but it's definitely it's greater than it is in most states.
Yes, and what happens is if and when those couples get divorced and the woman is the higher earner, that woman is going to be paying permanent alimony. So we're going to see a huge paradigm shift in who's paying permanent alimony unless the laws change, which they have to change. These are 1950 June and Ward Cleaver laws. They don't make sense in 2013. So that's what we're looking to fix.
Yeah, I agree. And lastly on the topic, and then we'll move on to some other stuff, but you actually sent me a video link with from, I guess on, Jesus, if I weren't senile, I would tell you what it was. What did you send me, Debbie? What was the link? Facebook, right? Or no, not Facebook, YouTube video.
Oh, the YouTube video. Oh, okay, yes. There are so many links I have. That was about a man describing what alimony is, slavery and a violation of the...
You know, at first, it seems so extreme to say that, but the more I'm thinking about it, what we're talking about, Rich, is some relatively young kid, he was a young kid, gets on there and basically does, I won't call it a rant, but he kind of equates paying permanent alimony to slavery. And I'll acknowledge it's extreme, but the basis is that that you're providing a service or a benefit to somebody for no cost, and to boot, you're doing it for somebody that you don't particularly like. And I think the guy describes the fact that that the lifeblood gets sucked out of the payor after so many years. And I get the analogy, but it's entertaining. So anybody that wants to go online and look that up.
Recipient should go to the payer's house and do some of the things that they used to do. Maybe a little action, maybe cleaning some toilets, whatever. Earn that money. You can't just get money without earning it.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's a form of welfare.
Can you imagine having your ex-wife come over to your house to clean your toilet?
Yeah, Debbie, she didn't clean the toilet when we were married. She had a housekeeper. I don't see her coming over.
Now I think she should be your housekeeper. I think she should definitely be your housekeeper. You don't need a housekeeper. You're paying alimony.
Yeah.
Have her come over, clean those toilets, make them real dirty, so she has to clean them good.
Listen,
there's no problem with that.
Yeah, listen, we're going to talk about some other stories now. If you want to hang on and chime in from the woman's viewpoint, you're more than welcome to. Or if you just say, "Sorry, guys, I've had enough of you. I got other stuff to do," and we can pick it back up, in another week or two.
I finished my wonderful email to the reporter at Channel 10. Hopefully, she'll pick up the story. So I got a few minutes.
All right, I'll tell you what, then. I told Richard, here are the choices of articles we can discuss. One was in particular about a divorce turning violent, which is fascinating. The other stories that I have are Teresa and Joe Judas, the geniuses from Housewives of New Jersey. And the tie-in there, I've been accused of not having enough of a legal show, but everybody knows, in addition to divorce and some accident cases, we also handle bankruptcy cases. And among the many types of fraud allegedly committed by Teresa and Joe Judas from Housewives, they've now been charged with a 39-count indictment for fraud, tax evasion, including that it's bankruptcy fraud. So you ever watch that show, Debbie?
No, I can't stand watching those shows. I know people who get addicted to those shows, but they just turn me off. It's the whole reason I left the Northeast.
Well, these two, this guy Joe's like a lummox. He's not even, it turns out, a U.S. citizen. They could deport his butt right out. And then the other woman, she's got a room temperature IQ, allegedly, in case anybody is watching this.
Fahrenheit or centigrade?
Centigrade. I don't know, Richard, but it's low. This is my shoe size.
It has to be Fahrenheit.
Anyway, you know what's so interesting about that? Because if you're going to go on TV and you're going to have a reality show and you're there bragging about your riches, and they're showing your house with this, that, and the other thing, it's not the smartest thing to do when you know that you filed for bankruptcy. One of the things, Debbie, when we file bankruptcy, we have to fill out and file with the court schedules. In those schedules, you make a list of what your assets are and what your income is. And part of the allegations that they flat out and out lied. And Richard will tell you, when we go into the bankruptcy room for the hearings, big sign on the wall always warning people against bankruptcy fraud.
Yep, it's always been up there.
And
How come they don't warn anyone against financial affidavit fraud when they're getting divorced?
Well, it's the same thing. Look, people have a tendency to over-exaggerate, but in bankruptcy, when you're dealing with the feds and you're going to lie about your income, it's just not the smartest thing to do. And these guys went so far as to fail to disclose income. And some of the allegations I read, they were actually filing false tax returns, creating phony W-2s and things of that nature. So it's hard to have any sympathy for people that do this and don't pay taxes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, so everybody agrees. All right, so we will now cross off the Judases and whatever happens
And make
to
sure
them,
you put
God
down
bless
everybody
them.
agrees.
That's right. All right, now, the next article we can talk about, which I find kind of fascinating, is our friend Simon Cowell. And I think most people should know about this case. And again, the tie-in, because we are Elkins and Freedman know something show, actually know nothing, maybe a little something. We handle paternity cases too, and it looks like Simon Cowell, if he doesn't marry his, quote, lover, who happens to be a married woman, and knocked her up, he may have a paternity case. But do you know what I'm talking about, Debbie? Do you know about Simon Cowell?
Story. I don't follow trash TV, so you're informing.
Well, we're in luck. I do follow trash TV.
I would think that's like the worst way to get caught cheating. With a married person, getting them pregnant. I think that's just gotta
So
be
listen, here's the story. Apparently, Simon Cowell, and at the time he was going out with somebody, in fact, engaged, but he became friends with a New York real estate mogul, and this mogul was married to a woman named Lauren Silverman. His name's Andrew Silverman. In fact, they have a 7-year-old son together. So this guy had a few bucks, family money, from what I understand, in real estate, but they became friends and used to vacation with Simon. And apparently Simon, around 2011, got extra friendly with the wife. Now, whether or not the husband, the allegations are flying back and forth. But here it is, fast forward, 2013, she manages to get pregnant, okay? While the couple's still married. They may have had a loveless marriage, but the fact of the matter is they're still living in the same house. So what I find fascinating about this case, so poor Simon, who's a big mouth, got a ton of money, far more than this guy has. This woman has come out and said what she's looking for is a quick divorce settlement, then wants to marry Simon, wants him to do, quote, the proper thing.
Well, what does Simon want to do?
Marry her?
Well, Simon says, you like that, Richard? Just thought that. Simon's laying low.
I set that one up for you, didn't I?
Thank you, Richard. You threw me a softball there.
Marrying tight, do you?
Who's Simon? You're right. I truthfully don't know. I don't know. So what's happened? Apparently, he's on a yacht somewhere, wants it to lie down. And the fascinating thing, he was actually joined in. This guy apparently was so ticked off, they joined him in the divorce petition filed in New York. So now they're arguing over custody. This one says you're a lousy parent. The other one says the same thing. And to bring you up to date, this story, it just won't go away. But it says Cowell's baby mama mistakenly thought she couldn't get pregnant. Well, I'm a little skeptical, because she's already got a kid, and looked like Simon just, couldn't hold back, so to speak. So we've got that issue, and then the other thing that was in the paper today, because they both hired their publicist to spin what a bad parent the other is. Apparently, among his real estate holdings is a hotel which is known as a house of ill repute in some foreign country. And apparently, this guy used to go on guy trips and slept with plenty of other women. So, what a fine mess.
Incredibly boring when I listen to these stories. God, I need to spice things up.
Yeah, I know. I got a boring life, but what are you going to do? So we'll see what happens. So that's the story of Simon. And there's a South Florida connection, because part of the dirt that they were trying to spread about this woman, she went to Miami Country Day. Okay, I don't know anybody familiar with that school, well-known school. And apparently, when she was either 15 or 16, my recollection says, she's accused of having an affair with one of the teachers that ultimately led to him getting fired, and then she left the school.
There's some classy people out there.
I know. So, Debbie, the more I say, you want some dirt, just call your friend Alan. Okay. Story number 2, Richard.
Story number 2.
Now, we're having so much fun. Can we keep going? I don't think we need to do a break, do we? We need to do a break? No, we're going to keep going. Debbie, you want to keep going?
Sure.
All right. The next story, I love this, and I usually do attorneys behaving badly, But I have plenty of stupid people stories tonight as I'm dropping papers all over here. All right, hold on. Oh, Richard, now I'm hitting the mic. All right, I'll pick that up. Now listen to these geniuses. Couple broke into school to have sex and chow down.
I read that one.
You read this one?
Yeah, that was all over the internet.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Richard,
all over the
you
internet,
read
all
it.
weekend.
All right, so what happened? You tell the story then. What did these idiots do?
What did they do? Well, they broke into the school and had sex and then left. And I think...
What school? Where?
Well, Richard
I'm sure
doesn't
you haven't
believe in
attended it,
detail.
Debbie, but I'm sure it's a well-known school.
Here it is, Debbie. Couple broke into school. Vincent Yule and Lindsay Longbottom. You know, that's an interesting Longbottom. It should have been open bottom. See, were busted after cops said the couple broke into, here it is, Debbie, Daytona Beach High School for sex. It says the couple then vandalized the vending machines at the school because, according to the gentleman, he had the beer munchies. Okay?
And he's certainly a gentleman, isn't
He
he?
had the beer munchies. It says the couple said, I love this, they needed a place to have sex so that her boyfriend wouldn't find out.
What about the lawyer's lounge at the courthouse?
Debbie, Richard's referring to an earlier story in one of our lawyers behaving badly. Apparently in some courthouses there's actually an attorney's lounge which some attorneys have sex in. Myself, I've never even seen it. You know, that's usually in the men's room at the courthouse, but it's another story.
I heard of realtors behaving badly.
Yes.
That they would go into their listings, they would bring their paramour into their listings and have sex in there.
Unbelievable. It's craziness, I tell you. All right, now let me see the next story here.
Alan, while you're looking, I have to tell our listening audience something.
Go ahead.
I don't know if people are aware, but Alan has a twin sister.
Oh, brother.
Okay. No one really knows this, but he has a twin sister.
Oh, like Adam Sandler and twins?
We're like Frick and Frack, Heckle and Jekyll.
Exactly. And
no similarity.
It's been a long time, actually. But she's getting
Is she going to get mad at you?
What?
Oh,
So I wanted to congratulate you on the upcoming wedding of your sister in October. So I didn't know if people out in the listening audience knew that, but now they do.
Yes, God bless her. She met somebody. She's known him at least a few weeks, planning to marry him, so we'll see how that works out.
What marriage number is it? 2?
It's number 1 for her.
Yeah, 1.
So
really?
Listen, what are you going to do?
She took her time.
Richard, thank you for that boring story. Now, back to the interesting news. I just took this off the, just got this off the internet. Here's another idiot couple. A man and the cops are looking for a man and woman who are seen on video robbing $1,000 worth of bras from a Victoria's Secret near Orlando.
2 men are...
Yeah, a man and a woman went into a Victoria's Secret and stole $1,000 worth of bras.
And so that's probably about 1,000 bras.
Debbie, as a woman, I think bras probably cost more than $1, right?
What?
Richard says he thinks that they stole 1,000 bras because I said it was $1,000 worth of bras. But that's nonsense, Richard.
No,
I think bras can be expensive, right?
Expensive.
Huh?
Bras are very expensive, especially the Victoria's Secret bras. They can be pricey.
Yeah, Richard hasn't bought one in at least a few months. Huh?
Debbie's worth it.
Debbie's worth it. All right, I don't know why. I just thought that was funny.
Now, they got them. Their cost is $0. They can go out and sell them for something like $20 a piece.
Where do you sell them?
Yeah, where do you advertise?
You sell them in the back of your car?
To your friends.
Yeah, Debbie. You're right. Sell them to your friends. I guess you're right. You could have a house party and have a bra sale. I don't know.
Yeah, but did he take variety of sizes, or was it all one size?
You know, Richard's asking a great question. If you're going to go there and steal bras, are these geniuses smart enough to snap up a variety of sizes? It's a good question, Richard. We'll have to follow up on that fascinating story in the future.
They have what they can, and then they sort it out.
All right. Next story. Let me find my birdie story. All right.
Birdie story.
Now, listen to this. And as a matter of fact, my assistant's mother works in a very fine spa up in Palm Beach. And I told her I read an article that the latest trend around the world around the world for spa treatment. You ready for this? $180 is what this costs for a bird feces facial.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, bird feces for beauty. And it says that's what goes into facials at these luxury spas. And this started, I guess, in Japan. It's a Japanese treatment.
Figure it started over
That's
there.
right, which uses...
Well, they eat all kinds of weird stuff, so I guess we shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, but Debbie, can I say bird, S-H-I-T?
No.
Can't say that? All right. Bird poo-poo. Who's going to put bird poop on their face? But apparently that's what they do, Debbie. Nightingale excrement mixed with rice bran going for $180 a pop. And apparently they're standing in line. There are places in Manhattan on Fifth Avenue that are doing this. Both men and women, they say that there is an enzyme in the poop which gently exfoliates the skin.
Let me ask you something. With all the pigeons running around New York City and flying around, you shouldn't have to pay for it at all.
Well, you know, that's an interesting point because they go out of their way to say... Richard's absolutely correct. Can you use just any old bird for this? And it says, Richard's, again, probing question. A common misconception is that any bird feces, even from pigeons, is used. But apparently, they only use the droppings from birds of the nightingale species because they live on seeds and they produce a natural enzyme. That's the active ingredient. So I guess because these nightingales have a good diet, their poop is different than other bird poop.
Let me ask, where do you get nightingale birds around here?
Well, that's another
Especially
great
not
question.
Not New York City. That's the last bird you'd see there.
I think what Richard's going to do, I'm going to charge him with finding out. It's a great question. Where do these nightingales come from? But apparently, it's a real story. As a matter of fact, I know that they're also doing it at a salon out at 10,000 Waves in Santa Fe, New Mexico, which incidentally, I never told you this, Richard, but remember, yes. I used to go to Santa Fe on occasion. Beautiful, beautiful city, especially around Christmas time. There's a gorgeous spa there called 10,000 Waves. I actually treated myself and my son to a massage there. And you know what the highlight of the trip was?
No.
They had a co-ed sauna, and I still remember. The massage was okay, but I remember a naked lady laying in a sauna. And I said, holy cow. You know, I don't think I mentioned that to even my wife.
She was a cow?
No, she was actually a lovely young lady. But that was at 10,000 Waves. Gorgeous spa if you're ever out in Santa Fe. Wife? No, I think I forgot to do that.
Well, I'll mention it to her next time I see her.
Thank you, Richard. But I'm coming clean on the story. All right, so Debbie, you enjoying yourself? We got about 5 minutes left.
It's been cleaner. Let me hear the rest.
All right. All right, here's the next story I'm going to do, and let's see, I've got a few left. I have a serious one, but the heck with that. We'll wait on that. That has to do with injunction. This just came out, Debbie. Okay, guess what? I'm gonna ask you and Richard to try to guess the top 5 party schools. Every year, the Princeton Review comes out with top 5 schools. So I'm going to let Debbie go first, ladies first, and you're going to try to guess the top 5 party schools in the United States.
Okay.
Okay, Debbie. No, Debbie, ladies first. What's your first guess, Debbie?
I'm going to say University of Miami as one of them.
Buzz! No, you would be incorrect, dear.
Now, let me try one.
All right, Richard.
University of California at Santa Barbara.
You're right, Richard.
No kidding.
Okay.
He had the answer.
Did you know that, or you guessed?
No, I knew that because it's a big party school.
Listen to my partying friend. All right, that's one. All right, Debbie, next guest.
It has to be somewhere where it's really cold, like Wisconsin, University of Wisconsin.
No, can't say that it's in the top 5.
Okay, I got another one.
Go ahead, Richard.
Syracuse University.
You didn't read this article,
I swear to
Richard.
God, I just know. You don't realize this, but in college, I was a party animal.
You hear that,
I don't know if you knew that.
Richard, you got one. That's 2 out of the 5. Richard successfully guesses Syracuse.
Do I get a free dinner if I get 3?
Yeah, you get nothing. Bumpkus. All right. Okay, who's next? Debbie.
Oh, gosh. All right, I'm going to go even colder. University of Alaska.
Is that the Anchorage, or is that the Anchorage campus?
Definitely. No, it's not that. I think. Oh boy, I'm getting told it's 1 minute. All right, I'm going to have to spoil this. I'm going to give you here in no particular order. Here's another one. West Virginia University.
Yes.
Okay, West Virginia, and I think your cousins are fair game if you go there. All right. Just a cheap West Virginia joke. And they do have all their teeth, I think. All right. That's West Virginia. So now we have 3. Now the next one. Okay, it's a cold weather. Oh, we're running out of time.
Oh, my God.
All right, here it is quickly in case you want. It's the University of Illinois. Yep. And then the #1 party school in the United States, University of Iowa Hawkeyes.
Wow.
All right.
I got 2 out of the 5, so that's not bad.
That's very good, Richard. I think we've had enough fun for one episode, Richard, so I guess take us out of here.
Take care, everybody, and we'll see you next Monday, same time, 6 o'clock, for another Elkins and Freedman show.
And thank you, Debbie, our guest.
You have been listening to the Elkins and Freedman Know Nothing Show, where maybe you learned a little something today. To reach their offices, call 954-772-6014 or toll free 1-800-992-1277. Tune in again next time for more Elkins and Freedman. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and not necessarily those